Have you ever heard of a flying lemur? Well, here's a secret for you. They don't actually fly, and they aren't lemurs at all. What we're talking about is an incredible creature called the colugo. These mysterious animals are some of the most unique mammals on our planet, living high up in the rainforests of Southeast Asia. They are shy, nocturnal, and perfectly designed for a life spent almost entirely in the trees. People gave them the flying lemur nickname because of their gliding ability and a face that looks a little bit like a primate's, but scientifically they belong to their very own order, Dermoptera. It's just them in there, making them truly one of a kind. What makes a colugo so special? It's all about their amazing adaptations for life in the canopy. The most striking feature is a huge, flexible membrane of skin called the patagium. This isn't just a small flap, it's a full-body cape of skin that stretches from their neck, along their sides to their fingertips, down to their toes, and all the way to the tip of their tail. This incredible structure is the secret to their gliding prowess, turning them into a living, breathing parasail. It's the most extensive gliding membrane of any mammal, making them the undisputed champions of arboreal travel. Another feature that immediately grabs your attention is their enormous eyes. Since colugos are nocturnal, they need to see clearly in the dark forest. These big round eyes give them excellent night vision, helping them spot tender young leaves to eat and judge distances for their daring glides between trees. They can accurately calculate the space between one trunk and another, which is a life-or-death skill when you're launching yourself into the air 100 feet off the ground. Their vision is perfectly tuned for navigating the complex, shadowy world of the rainforest canopy after the sun goes down. Beyond their gliding membrane and sharp eyes, colugos have other fascinating features. Their teeth are quite peculiar, shaped almost like tiny combs. These comb-like incisors are thought to help them groom their fur, keeping it clean and free of parasites, but they also use them to slice through the soft leaves, flower buds, and fruits that make up their diet. They are incredibly skilled climbers, but not in the way a monkey is. Instead of grasping with agile hands, they use their small, sharp claws to dig into tree bark, ascending trunks in a series of slow, deliberate hops, almost like a tree frog with fur. So, how exactly does a colugo fly? It's more accurate to call it gliding, and they are the absolute masters of this technique. To begin a glide, a colugo will climb to a high point on a tree. From there, it launches itself into the air, spreading its patagium wide like a kite. By adjusting the tension in this membrane with its limbs and tail, the colugo can steer with remarkable precision, navigating around branches and aiming for a specific landing spot on another tree far away. This method of travel is incredibly efficient and saves a tremendous amount of energy. This gliding ability is a brilliant solution to the challenges of rainforest life. Traveling on the forest floor is dangerous for a colugo. It's slow-moving and vulnerable to predators like snakes and clouded leopards. Staying in the canopy is much safer. Gliding allows them to move between feeding trees without ever touching the ground. They can cover incredible distances in a single leap, sometimes over 100 meters with very little loss in altitude. This means they can access a much wider range of food sources across the forest, all while staying safely suspended, high above the dangers lurking below. The mechanics of their glide are a marvel of natural engineering. As they leap, they create an airfoil with their body, generating lift that counteracts gravity and allows them to travel horizontally. They can change direction mid-air by shifting their weight and adjusting their wings, making them agile flyers. Landing is just as skillful. They swoop upwards at the last moment to slow down, then absorb the impact with all 4 feet clinging instantly to the bark of the destination tree. It's a graceful, calculated aerial maneuver that they have perfected over millions of years of evolution. This unique form of locomotion defines their entire existence. It dictates where they can live, what they can eat, and how they avoid becoming another animal's dinner. Without the ability to glide, colugos would be confined to single trees or small patches of forest, quickly depleting their food sources. Their gliding talent is the key to their survival, a spectacular adaptation that allows them to thrive in the three-dimensional world of the jungle canopy. It is a beautiful and effective strategy that sets them apart from nearly every other mammal on Earth, making them true specialists of the arboreal realm. Colugos lead quiet, solitary lives, dedicated almost entirely to finding food and staying hidden. As herbivores, their diet consists of the softest parts of the trees they inhabit, young leaves, tender shoots, flower buds, and sometimes sap and fruit. They are picky eaters, carefully selecting the most nutritious and least toxic foliage available. This specialized diet is one reason they need to travel across large areas of the forest. They must constantly seek out new growth. They spend their nights foraging and their days resting, camouflaged perfectly against a tree trunk or nestled inside a tree hollow. Their camouflage is another key survival tool. When a colugo is resting, it clings vertically to a tree trunk, its mottled gray and brown fur blending in seamlessly with the bark. It looks just like a lump on the tree or a large lichen patch, making it incredibly difficult for predators to spot from above or below. This passive defense strategy is crucial for an animal that spends so much of its time immobile during the daylight hours. They remain perfectly still, relying on their disguise to keep them safe until the protective cover of darkness returns to the forest. When it comes to raising a family, the colugo mother is a marvel of dedication. She gives birth to a single tiny baby after a gestation period of about 2 months. The young colugo, or joey, is born underdeveloped and immediately clings to its mother's fur. The mother's patagium serves a dual purpose, acting not only as a glider but also as a warm, protective hammock for her baby. She folds the membrane around her young, creating a soft, secure pouch where the baby can nurse and stay safe while she climbs and glides through the trees. The young colugo will stay with its mother for several months, learning the essential skills of climbing, gliding, and foraging by watching her. This extended period of maternal care is vital for its survival. The mother carries her baby everywhere, a significant burden that showcases her strength and commitment. Eventually, the young colugo will become independent and venture out to find its own territory in the vast rainforest canopy. This life cycle, so intricately tied to the trees, highlights just how specialized these animals are for their unique arboreal niche. Colugos are more than just fascinating creatures, they play an important role in the health of their rainforest home. As they move from tree to tree, feeding on flowers and fruits, they inadvertently act as pollinators and seed dispersers. Pollen can get stuck on their fur and transferred to the next flower they visit, helping plants reproduce. When they eat fruit, they travel long distances before depositing the seeds elsewhere in their droppings. This helps new trees grow in different parts of the forest, maintaining genetic diversity and contributing to the overall regeneration of the ecosystem. However, these gliding guardians are facing a serious threat: the loss of their home. The rainforests of Southeast Asia are disappearing at an alarming rate due to deforestation for agriculture, particularly for palm oil plantations, as well as logging and urban expansion. For an animal that relies completely on a continuous tree canopy, this is disastrous. When forests are cut down or broken into smaller isolated patches, it creates gaps that are too wide for colugos to glide across. This fragmentation traps them in small areas, limiting their access to food and mates. This habitat loss is the single greatest challenge to their survival. Trapped populations can suffer from inbreeding and become more vulnerable to disease and local extinction. While colugos are not yet classified as endangered, their populations are declining and they are considered a species of concern. Without the tall trees that form their highways in the sky, they simply cannot survive. Protecting colugos means protecting the entire complex web of life that is the rainforest, from the tallest emergent trees to the smallest insects. The future of these incredible animals rests in our hands. Conservation efforts are crucial, focusing on preserving large connected tracts of primary rainforest, supporting sustainable agriculture, promoting reforestation projects, and establishing protected wildlife corridors can help create safe havens where colugos can thrive. By raising awareness about these shy and gentle gliders, we can inspire action to protect their world. We must work to ensure that the silent, graceful flight of the colugo continues to be a part of the magic of the Southeast Asian night for generations to come. They are a treasure of biodiversity worth saving.